The MD-80 is such an iconic plane. I mean, when I was just starting to get into aviation in the 90s, the MD-80 plane stood out to me against the rest because of its iconic design and the silver livery that American Airlines used back then. But with newer and far more efficient jets having hit the market, the plane is slowly becoming out of favour with many airlines. Now, American Airlines operates 44 of the planes and are set to be retired by the end of next year. So the question has to be asked, what else is there for the MD-80 with American Airlines? Now, American Airlines once had a massive fleet of the MD-80, but it's slowly being replaced by the next generation 737s and the Airbus A320 family. The plane is slowly being taken away from famous airports in the US like JFK, Miami and LaGuardia. And as a result, majority of the MD-80s are based out of Dallas, which actually made sense. It's the most least efficient aircraft in American's fleet with only a mediocre range, and it's best to use that Dallas because it's an airport dominated by American. Now with the MD-80 nearing nearly 38 years, it makes sense to merge all operations at one major base for spares and maintenance purposes. This method was actually followed by many airlines like United, who used the same tactic with their 747 fleet and San Francisco. Still, however, American has an extensive MD-80 operations even today. Now these aircraft are used to flying around 334 flights per day, and while I couldn't calculate it, their average daily utilization falls somewhere between 5 to 7 hours per day, which is actually on the lower end for narrow body aircraft with US carriers. Now American will continue using the plane until the end of next year, which will be replaced by a mixture of the A321neos and the Bombardier C series. Now initially, American planned to use the MD-80 to replace the Boeing 727-100s in its fleet. However, they used the aircraft for growth when it placed the largest order of the time of 167 MD-80s, including 67 firm and 100 options in 1984. The plane has been one of the workhorses of American's fleet ever since they bought it, and it operates on many short-haul domestic and some international routes. Now with only a handful of the DC-9 and the DC-10s operating today, the last remnants of the Douglas lineup are slowly fading away. Now as a lover of aviation, this is certainly cause for nostalgia, but also for optimism. These old planes are being retired because newer and better planes are taking their place. But still, I highly recommend that if it's possible, go book a flight on these iconic planes, because once they're gone, you may never have the chance.